Overanalyzing Simpsons Bart the General. And yes, spoilers are included. In a time when real men went off to war risking life and limb for the loved ones back home, upon arriving back home, those war-really battle-hardened men would shoulder their war injuries just so they could enjoy a good wholesome hard-cooked meal, or, better yet, some delicious baked goods from their loved ones. In this case, the loved one is going to be Lisa Simpson. Not satisfied with staying at home, she wants to go to school to learn reading, writing, and arithmetic. What better way to learn reading, writing, and arithmetic but bribing your teachers with home-baked goods, not giving them to the war-weary, battle-hardened men, but giving them to your teachers to get a better grade. We have Lisa beginning her big journey with a total of 9 cupcakes. Despite frosting the cupcakes while they are still hot, not properly letting them cool off. While they are still in the pan, mind you, they are extracted with near perfection. You come to find out that frosting cupcakes while still hot will not give you a perfectly frosted cupcake. In fact, it'll just give you a gooey mess. So let's follow this process through with Lisa Baked Goods. We know that Lisa's cupcakes does not have liners on them because the war-hardened, weary men in her life are just eating that cupcake whole without gently peeling off the wax liners. Now, this is going to be one of two things. Either these men are psychotic, have been too worry suffering from PTSD, and don't care that they're eating plastic, which would make them a Marine along with their crayons. Or it simply means that there's no paper liner if they're a normal person. What do you think is a proper answer? Are they Marines or are they just psychotic men eating it if there is actually a liner? Let us know in the comments below what you think. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the math. Father takes a cupcake, tries to eat it. Lisa takes it from him and takes the 6 perfectly packed cupcakes, adds 1, making it 7 that is still absolutely packed perfectly. 1 cupcake is taken out and given to Otto the bus driver, but yet we still have 6 perfectly packed cupcakes. The bus gets jostled around. One of these cupcakes lands onto the perfectly pristine, hygienic floor of an elementary school bus, which is so graciously given from the sister to Bart Simpson. That is so nice of her. So the 7 cupcakes now becomes 5. But yet when the bully goes to open up that cupcake box, we miraculously have 6 cupcakes still within the box. Bully decides to go ahead and eat 2 of those cupcakes. So that miraculously 6 cupcakes should now actually be 4. But yet when we look at the box again, when it goes to be smashed by the bully, 6 miraculously perfectly packed cupcakes meet their demise when tread upon. So if we add up the final tally, here's what we come across. 9 originally baked cupcakes, 4 left on the counter, 7 taken on the bus, 2 magically appearing on bus, 2 being magically added while being held by the bus bully, making a grand total of 15 cupcakes when only 9 were originally baked. Don't think about it too much though, that's simply in your head, earn tax dollars, working so this little girl can be good at arithmetic. Because we all know that is girl math. Now that we've returned to the scene of the crime where Bart stands up for his sister when she gets bullied upon, even after she feeds him a delicious cupcake which fell on the floor of a supremely sanitary, hygienic floor of the elementary school bus driven by a shroom head. Yummy. The Simpsons has always been given clout for predicting the future. In this paradigm shift, when Bart dies because Lisa, thinking to brag, accidentally narcs on her brother, giving away the position to the school bully.
Hey everybody! Here comes my brother, Bart the Bully Killer! Yeah! You're a hero, Bart! Look out! Nelson, it was all a mistake. This is how it happened, man. Listen up. You may get a kick out of it. My sister was baking cupcakes this morning and...
you at the flagpole at 3:15.
And you better be prompt. He has 4 other meetings scheduled this afternoon.
This is potential the funeral that Bart is going to receive when the adults will act to stop political activism, but not stop the murder of small boys. At least, people are given the day off so that when the supposed funeral happens, but whether in life or in death, Bart will not be able to eat a decent cupcake not covered in elementary school bus germs. It's all good though, because the person who did the actual murder is not only allowed to walk free, but openly allowed to visit the funeral of their victim and desecrate the remains of that victim, and everyone has no problem whatsoever with this. Now, when the actual events take place, it shows who men and women handle their problems differently. Women will emotionally torment their victims, and crying, well, guys will simply slug it out, give it a few times, and let them roll on their way. However, at times, sometimes men can be a little bit more vindictive as girls with continual abuse. I ask once again, where are the adults in this elementary school? I doubt that this really happened, because if this was at my school when a fight was announced so publicly in a time, place, where should no doubt there would be a whole group of onlookers, fellow students, eager to watch the beating for sheer entertainment factor. Instead, there was oddly nobody witnessing, no adults wanting to break this up. This is definitely not a realistic situation.
Uh-oh, a cold wind.
Hello, kids. Everything above the board here? Good. Play friendly, children. Uh-oh, there's your bell. Come along now, all of you. No dawdling now.
I'll get you after school, man.
But,
Oh, no. He'll get you after school, son. Now hurry up. It's time for class.
but,
Scoot, young Simpson. There's learning afoot.
In the least, you'd have Martin running to tell the adults, as a good snitch that he always is, always looking to stop some evil ne'er-doers of his fellow students.
One of my fellow children is vandalizing school property.
Oh, where?
Over there, sir.
Even he is oddly not present during this beating. The tyranny of these bullies are so great, though, they are even good at suppressing human curiosity to look and stare for a major car accident, or in this case, a public beating. Are we not sure that Nelson does not have some secret ties to the mafia to help keep the students quiet? I mean, the accents of these henchmen really do sound mysteriously familiar.
And you better be prompt. He has 4 other meetings scheduled this afternoon.
Great. This'll be just like The Godfather.
The what?
You know, the movie, The Godfather.
Never heard of it.
It's about a guy like you who does what you do.
Which is what?
Legitimate business.
He sounds like quite the fellow, this Godfather.
Maybe that's why there's not witnesses, because they were bribed not to be there, or simply intimidated. Yet another crime we could add onto these bullies' rap sheet. Not to worry though, because when it comes down to it, the least these bullies are kind enough to deliver Bart directly to the front of his house, saving him some bus fare. This is a great kind and accuracy that the bullies should try out for the Springfield cheese rolling team. And yes, I did say the Springfield cheese rolling team. Yes, believe it or not, this is an actual live event. This sport does exist. Fun fact for you. You would think that a cheese rolling competition would take place in Wisconsin or near the Green Bay Packers? No, you would be wrong. It was actually invented by the Brits. Go figure. While the British military was casually enjoying a spot of tea in Southeast Asia in the Burmese Peninsula, along with their mates, back home in Gloucester, England, got a little bit bored. They would roll a wheel of cheese down the hill and then chase after it, calling it the world-famous event that is still held to this day, oddly enough, in that same city. Just like we Americans call it the World Series, because everything revolves around us and the world. And so this is now the world-famous cheese wheel competition. It's so famous that they actually have competitors joining them from around the world. Oddly enough, they seem to be from former British colonies, which includes Australia, Belgium, Canada, Egypt, Germany, Japan, New Zealand. Even folks from America, from my neck of the woods, like to go out to this competition. It seems kind of odd that the world-famous competition where these guys participate seem to be from former British colonies. It's like a who's who of people that have shed blood in fighting the Brits. If we only could have solved our differences by chasing cheese. I would imagine the Star-Spangled Banner still waving in air amongst fields of discarded cheese wheels would not have had the same ringtone to it, much less of bombs bursting in air. So that's something, I guess. Anyway, with Bart in his despair, Marge gives him some homely advice on how he can go ahead and figure out his problems by talking out his feelings. Because we know when you're getting beaten into a bloody pulp, the best way to talk about it is to talk about your feelings. Tell them how vulnerable you are. Give them all your weaknesses. That is sure to do the trick. I am sure that Nelson would happily agree with that. It totally worked with Neville Chamberlain during the 1940s.
No, he's pretty dumb. He's in all the same special classes I am.
That's why he lashes out at the world.
Oh, Marge.
So tomorrow, instead of bickering with this boy, talk to him. You'll be surprised how far a little understanding will go.
Well,
Having rejected the motherly advice Bart's given to one person he listens to, that one can always count on to solve problems in a responsible manner, Daddy. Wait, we want to listen to Daddy? Is this not the same guy who routinely participates in child asphyxiation but never gets CPS on the cops' call for him? Let's see what great advice this guy offers his one and only son.
You mean I should fight dirty, Dad?
unfortunately, son, we Simpsons sometimes have to bend the rules a little in order to hold our own.
Amen.
Get the chance. Get him right in the family jewels. That little doozy's been a Simpson trademark for generations.
Thanks, Pop.
Maybe that advice might not be the best. Okay, so that advice did not work. Let's go to the next man in our life, the greatest generation of the Great Depression. Let's see what advice they have.
Well, let me tell you something, boy. If you don't stand up for yourself, bullies are going to be picking on you for the rest of your life.
Simpson, give me your newspaper.
What?
Oh!
Well, I guess I can't help you, but I know someone who can.
To give us. I guess the present day advice and the far distant past of fighting and violence did not work. So let's go to the only option we have left to give us advice of the great neutral, the flower power generation, where love, peace, and harmony ruled all. Let's see what advice we can gather from them to help us rectify this sticky situation.
How many men do you have?
None.
You'll need more. And you'll need to train them hard. Now, let's see. The Greeks knew it. The Carthaginians knew it. Now you know it. First, you'll need a declaration of war. That way everything you do will be nice and legal.
Now, after a rousing speech from their commander-in-chief of telling the troops that we will be home by Christmas, these raw recruits of Springfield eagerly gather into a training montage that is oddly more organized than some third-rate powers I have seen in their training regimes. While adults live vicariously through kids, the planning continues using examples from our past on how to defeat Nelson. What examples, pray tell, would you use? Well, Dresden and Tokyo are but just a few amongst many, but certainly not London, cause that was bad. Remember kids, it's not a war crime if you win. The entire elementary school turns out to teach these bullies a lesson. Once again, there are oddly no adults whatsoever to supervise these kids. On a side note, how did Grandpa, a guy who is one life alert, slip away from the grave, breaking his hip, able to climb up this rickety little rope ladder to get to an elevated view to bombard Homer? Grumpy Nom guy, sure, I can see that even if he only has one arm, Lieutenant Dan is very capable of doing things that you wouldn't believe. But Gramps, I don't think so. Once the battle has commenced, the lieutenants of Nelson use the same excuses that Germany used after World War II why they shouldn't be on the hook for the horrible deeds that they did.
No! Wait! Don't hurt us! Oh, we surrender! Oh, we were only following orders!
Having been let off the hook, someone must still be accountable and paraded in a Roman triumvirate style. Suck it, Nelson. With this victory at hand, that obviously gives us permission for some rando to take advantage of Bart's sister into some good old-fashioned non-consensual spit swapping. In taking a look at this, Bart is willing to go to war over Nelson over some smashed cupcakes for a sister, but he is not willing to go to war with this dude for casually tonguing his sister. One war is enough. Let's stop there. We have proven our point, so there is no need to continue. I see no problems here. Now that we've had the emotional traumatizing that would put most elementary schools into the psychiatrist's office, I'm sure that Nelson has fully learned his lesson and there will be no problems in the future whatsoever. Having proven that Nelson can't be trusted, though, we're going to go to mediation and develop some binding contracts to make certain that Nelson will never raise his fist in anger ever again. I mean, it definitely stopped Germany in World War I. A piece of paper is a binding contract. I'm sure it would do the exact same thing for a couple of elementary school kids who had a simple riff in the schoolyard. To celebrate the newly signed armistice, we go back to another lesson of math and cupcakes. This time, though, math actually maths correctly and not unlike Lisa's girl math. When Marge brings out a plate full of cupcakes, now these 9 cupcakes are evenly divided between 8 people. Now this is proper math that actually works. So we see the mother is the master of baking. She actually knows proper math and how it goes out. But Lisa, she is still trying to learn, and so let's go ahead and get a reminder of just how ridiculous Lisa's math is, who's quote-unquote the smartest person in the family, a pure genius. When Lisa originally baked cupcakes and adds it all up, this was the final tally. 9 original cupcakes came out of the oven, 4 left on the counter, 7 taken on the bus, 2 magically appearing on the bus, and 2 being magically added while being held by the school bully, making it a grand total of 15 cupcakes when only 9 were originally baked. Don't think about it too much though, because that's simply your hard-earned tax dollars at work now that we've had some hearty snackage and Bart is finally able to eat an unsully delicious cupcake. He dishes out words of wisdom.
Contrary to what you've just seen, war is neither glamorous nor fun. There are no winners, only losers. There are no good wars, with the following exceptions: the American Revolution, World War II, and the Star Wars trilogy.
Why is it that just these wars you ask and none others? It's 'cause America. To be fair, it's not real hard to justify why Americans wanted to engage in a revolution against their British counterparts. However, not much can be said from our fellow men here in America because, unfortunately, we are both cut from the same cloth. Aside from those words of wisdom given to us by Bart, also remember that you won't win friends with salad, but you will win my friendship by liking and subscribing. Bite.